Hey, what's up you guys? So, I finished the Hunger Games series like quite a while ago, and I wanted new books to read just because, okay, I don't know if you guys are like this too, but when I'm not reading anything, I don't want to read, and I'm like a slow reader. But if I'm not like a slow reader, not like I'm dumb or something, but it's just like I can't speed read, you know? But once I start getting into a book, I want to keep reading, and I'm like super fast at it kind of thing. Anywho, so I went to the library and looked up some books that I wanted to read, and absolutely all of them were taken out. So I was like, I'm gonna have to go to Indigo, because we have an Indigo in my town. Anyway, I'm just kind of like rambling now, but so I bought 2 books at Indigo. I wanted to buy 50 Shades of Grey, not gonna lie, because I wanted to read it. You know, everyone's like obsessed with it. But I couldn't bring myself to buy it. Like, there was even a sale on it. It was like $15 or something like that. And I literally had it in my hand, and I was like gonna buy it, and then I was thinking, I was like, I don't care enough about this book to actually buy it, you know? And at the library, there were like 59 holds on 15 copies of the book. It was insane. So I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna put that off. I don't even frankly really care about it, because I flipped it open and I was like, this doesn't even look like I would enjoy it. It looks like it's really just, you know, that. And it's not like an actual story or whatever. But I might be the only one who thinks that, but I'll probably end up reading it. Anyway, I got 2 really cool books that I'm like super excited about, because they're, okay, I don't know if you guys know this, you guys probably don't know this because I've never mentioned this on my channel, but I'm like really odd. I like really odd things, like bizarre things. I'm really weird. I'm kind of like, my canvas of my brain is just totally everywhere. It's everywhere. I like everything, and then whenever I mention something to my friends, they're like, since when have you liked that? And I'm like, I've always been interested in that, I've just never told you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, so these are the books that I got. They're 2 very bizarre, like odd books, but I'm so excited to read them. So, okay, the first one is actually a bestseller right now, or it's starting to get super popular. Not many people have heard of it, so I'm kind of excited to be jumping on this bandwagon earlier than most people. But it's called Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Man, this is exciting. I'm doing my first book haul. This is cool. And if you look on the cover, she's levitating right there. So I've only gotten, how far? I've barely cracked the book. I am on page 55, so I'm really not that far in. Okay, let me just get my thoughts straight. Okay, so first of all, it's about this home for peculiar children, and okay, I don't know much about it yet because I haven't like started really reading it all that much, but it's basically about kids who like can fly, and there's this one kid who has like a swarm of bees living inside him, and then there's another kid who can like lift a boulder up above his head, but he's like the skinniest kid around. And then there's pictures in this book too, and there's pictures on the back, and it's really kind of disturbing. This is what it looks like. Okay, so there's a kid in a bunny suit, and then there's this really weird tunnel that's there, and then there's this thing which I don't even know like what that entails yet, and then there are these creepy ass twin kids that are in these costumes, which, by the way, if you've ever been to the art exhibit that was at York University a couple of months ago, you know how much this reminds me of something I can never unsee. And then there are also pictures inside the book. It's not like it's a picture book, but there are pictures that are trying to kind of add to your experience of the book. So I'll read you the little description on the inside of the book, because apparently people do that in book hauls. So it says, a mysterious island, an abandoned orphanage, a strange collection of very peculiar photographs. And the little blurb says, it all waits to be discovered in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, an unforgettable novel that mixes fiction and photography in a thrilling reading experience. As our story opens, a horrific family tragedy sets 16-year-old Jacob journeying to a remote island off the coast of Wales, where he discovers the crumbling ruins of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. As Jacob explores its abandoned bedrooms and hallways, it becomes clear that Miss Peregrine's children were more than just peculiar. They may have been dangerous. They may have been quarantined on a deserted island for a good reason. And somehow, impossible though it seems, they may still be alive. A spine-tingling fantasy illustrated with haunting vintage photography, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children will delight adults, teens, and anyone who relishes an adventure in the shadows. So that is what it's called, and it's the author's first book. He's like a blogger or something like that. He lives in Los Angeles, and he's made some short films. Yeah, so he's a blogger and travel writer, and this is his first novel. So I am super uber duper pumped. I am super excited about this. So this is the first one. And then the second one, whew, I am very nervous to be starting to read this book. I'm not going to start reading this shit until I am done and like cleared my brain of any sort of lingering bizarreness, because this is just a, excuse my language, mind fuck. It is a cluster of fuckery that's happening in your brain. Apparently it has like a cult following, and the people who have heard of it are like, their lives are changed, their minds are changed by it, but not many people have heard of it. The reason I've heard of it is because my sister Delaney, she's an avid reader, and this is her favorite book of all time. So without further ado, this book is called House of Leaves. It's ginormous. At least it's the biggest book I've ever written. Read. And it has 656 pages. And it's like, it's just like dictionary monstrous. And apparently it's like, if you look inside, Kate, look at these pages. Some of the pages are like this. Literally just scattered words. I got the remastered full color edition, so I got like the super crazy full effect awesomeness of this book. And so if you just flip it open, it has this crazy color, and then this opens to just have a pause button. I don't understand. I don't get it. Like the quotes about this book, which they have in the front, are, its chills spark vertigo, its erudition brings on dislocating giddiness. House of Leaves is dizzying in every respect. And shall I mention, every single time the word house appears in this book, at least that I've noticed so far, like in the pages and stuff, it's blue. The word house is blue. Can you see that? I hope you can see. I don't even know if I'm showing it. But yeah, like the house is in blue every single, like during the book. Let me find, yeah, it's all blue. It's blue. Shit, it's crazy. Another quote says, an intricate, erudite, I don't know what that word means. Everyone keeps using that, erudition, erudite. An intricate, erudite, and deeply frightening book. That's from the Wall Street Journal. A novelistic mosaic that simultaneously reads like a thriller and like a strange, dreamlike excursion into the subconscious. I'm scared as hell to start reading this book. Anyway, so let me read you guys the blurb that is House of Leaves, okay? I think it's about like a manuscript called House of Leaves that another guy finds or something like that. That's what Delaney was telling me about. But it's basically about a house that's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So okay, this is the blurb. Years ago, when House of Leaves was first being passed around, it was nothing more than a badly bundled heap of paper, parts of which would occasionally surface on the internet. No one could have anticipated the small but devoted following this terrifying story would soon command. Starting with an odd assortment of marginalized youth, musicians, tattoo artists, programmers, strippers, environmentalists, and adrenaline junkies, the book eventually made its way into the hands of older generations, who not only found themselves in those strangely arranged pages, but also discovered a way back into the lives of their estranged children. Now, for the first time, this astonishing novel is made available in book form, complete with the original colored words, vertical footnotes, and newly added second and third appendices. The story remains unchanged, focusing on a young family that moves into a small home on Ash Tree Lane, where they discover something terribly wrong. Their house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Of course, neither Pulitzer Prize-winning photojournalist Will Davidson nor his companion Karen Green was prepared to face the consequences of that impossibility until the day their two little children wandered off and their voices eerily began to return another story of creature darkness, of an ever-growing abyss behind a closet door, and of that unholy growl which soon enough will tear through their walls and consume all of their dreams. Oh man. I'm actually like frightened beyond repair of reading this book because I've seen the reviews and one of the reviews was like a novel that this person had written. I read it on Goodreads, and so they were an RA, like a resident advisor at university, and their friend was an RA as well, so they were RAs together. And the first person read House of Leaves. They gave it to their friend, the other resident advisor, and she stayed awake for days and days and days. She couldn't sleep and she couldn't finish it. Like, and she like screamed or something and then knocked on the first person's door and threw the book at that person. And she was like all disheveled looking. She had bags under her eyes, and then she went back into her room. And to this day, she can't finish the book because it fucked her up, basically. Yeah, I'm super excited. I think I'm gonna take this with me on the trip to Amsterdam because there's gonna be lots of plane rides and train rides. So there's gonna be lots of time to kill. Although, honestly, it's quite a heavy book. I feel like it's gonna take up a lot of the weight restrictions that my suitcase or my carry-on is gonna have. Anyway, I'm really nervous about it. But I can't even explain to you guys how excited I am. This is the most excited I've ever been to read books that I've just like randomly bought. Like even the Hunger Games, I freaking loved the Hunger Games series, except for the ending of the last book. I didn't like that. Who did? Really? Even with that, I was not as excited to read those books, even though they completely entranced me and I was gone. Those aren't even as exciting making my face as these. Anyway, if you guys have any other cool, bizarre, crazy books that are even like the Hunger Games, because I really liked that the atmosphere of that book, the first one especially. If you have anything that's like that or anything like these, which are just crazy, bizarro world kind of books, then please let me know them because I will probably read them. So this is my first book haul. I hope you guys liked it. Even though it's only 2 books, but I spent like a million years talking about both of them. I'm gonna have to cut this video down pretty small wise. What am I saying? Anyway, I hope you guys really liked this book haul, and I will talk to you guys later. Love your faces, everything about you, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!